Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee. Oh my goodness, we made it through Thanksgiving. This last week I have cooked more than I think I've ever cooked. We had a beautiful Thanksgiving holiday and I hope all you did too. And I hope you all had safe travels and how wonderful it is to be able to spend Thanksgiving with family. This was our really technically our first holiday without my mother. And it was like she was there. She was there with us. My daughter made the turkey. Like I said before, that my daughter always cooks the turkey with my mother every year. She stays the night there and they put the turkey all together. They cook it real low all night. Well, my daughter was nervous without my mom. And she made the turkey. And she says, Mama, you got to taste it. Before anybody else tastes it, you got to taste it. So I know that it's good. I tasted that turkey, friends. And I looked at my daughter and I said, if I didn't know any better, I would think Mama made this herself. And she just started to cry. She was so happy. Our Thanksgiving was wonderful. We did miss her. We all talked about her, but it was still a beautiful Thanksgiving with family. And, you're thankful for so much. So we had a lovely Thanksgiving. Christmas is going to be just, wonderful too, as well. And I know she'll be with us in spirit. So anyway, but I'm spent. I'm tired. I am so tired of cooking. Ooh, I think I'm doing a chit chat now, and next week I want to start doing some healthy meals and like sheet pan dinners and stuff. Even meals that we can put together and freeze for later. I'm gonna do those too. Not necessarily cook them, but do some make ahead meals, healthy meals. And then Christmas is going to come. Christmas is coming. It's time for cookies. Every year, my Christmas consists of love from my pantry. So I do Christmas cookie baskets. I do homemade breads, homemade, just everything is homemade in my Christmas. Very seldom do I buy stuff. So we're going to do Christmas baskets and Christmas cookies. We're just going to have a ball. And I'm going to bring you along for all of that. I'm going to show you some gift ideas for, low budget. And I'm going to put together 2 baskets for 2 separate families in the village. And they never know where they come from. I never tell them. But most of the time, people guess, because sometimes, I'll stick my home canned stuff in there. And even though I know it's going to give it away, I still want them to have that. So I don't put my home goods in the baskets so that they know where they come from. I just put them in there because I want them to have them. So this year I'm going to bring you along with me when I do that. And it's going to be like, I'm still up in the air of the kind of baskets I'm going to do this year. I know it's going to be a food basket with cookies and stuff, but I'm not sure if I want to do a fruit basket or if I want to do a Christmas dinner basket, But anyway, there's going to be 2 of them because there's 2 families that I have, I don't want to say secretly adopted because there is no secret Santa going on or anything. It's just every year I like to do that. Every year I choose 1 or 2 families and I do cookie baskets or a food basket or, gifts for the children, whatever. And that's the only time that I buy stuff actually is when it's for children because you just can't make toys. I can anyway. So, but this year I've got enough that I've got enough put aside that I can do 2 beautiful baskets for 2 families. I already know the families I'm doing them for, and they're going to love it. And it's funny because my daughter and I will deliver them, and we put the basket on the porch, and we bang on the door. You know how you used to, when you were a kid, knock on the door and take off running? Well, I'm too old and chubby to run, so, you know, my daughter knocks when I'm halfway to the car. But we knock on the door so that when they open the door, all they see is this beautiful basket. And they don't know where it come from because we're long gone. So it's kind of fun. And I said the first time we did, I says, man, this reminds me of when I was a young, you know, rotten kid. We used to knock on doors and take off running. I think all us kids did that in those days. Oh, we were horrible. But we had 3 feet of snow last week. 3 feet of snow. We usually get snow up to our neck. But last week, we had 3 feet of snow, and it was blustery cold out. This week, not the snow all melted, it's in the 50s. It's the craziest weather ever, I'm telling you. Michigan has got the craziest weather ever. But I got a chicken that's loose. She's just little. I don't know if she's a banny or what she is, but she's just a tiny little thing that won't grow. And she keeps getting out of the fence, and I can't keep her in there. And I told my husband today, I says, I'm afraid I'm going to lose her in the winter because she'll freeze to death. She gets out, and she can't get back in. You know, unless we go chase her down and get her in there. Well, I can't chase her down all the time. And then we got the bunny rabbit that's out there, and he's having himself a ball. So all the other chickens are doing good. Now, we did lose a chicken. I don't know. It's just the craziest thing. It's never happened before. It's like she got her neck caught or her head caught in where the fence comes together in the corner, and the two poles come down. It's like she got her head stuck through there, like she was trying to squeeze out of there. And she's a big fat Orpington, so there's no way she could have squeezed out there. But her head got stuck in there, and I think it's right where she died. So I think that happened. And it probably didn't take long. She probably just strangled herself. That's life on the farm, though. You can't be out there 24/7. And I didn't think she could do that. Now, I had a little one do that, but it didn't die. When I went out to feed it, I saw her, and I had to lift up the whole side of the cage, of the run, to, you know, let her head loose. So, I don't know. But the big one, it happened to the big one. So, we're down one chicken. The rabbits are getting fat. Even the little one that's running around. I told you before, he made his way underneath, or he made his little home underneath the chicken coop. So, he's doing good. And I keep hay, not straw, hay, underneath the rabbit hutch. Where, the one corner where he can get to it. And the snow is kind of, or the cage protects it. And no, they don't poop and pee on it. No, most people have, the rabbit cages are wire. Ours are wood. They're not on any wire. So I have to literally clean them out like every 2 weeks, because otherwise it'll get bad in there. And my compost is going to be beautiful next spring from all that rabbit poop. That's even better than chicken manure. That's the greatest compost ever. So combined between the rabbit and the chicken poo, I'm going to have some beautiful compost next year. And I'm excited because we're going to put new beds on the other side of the greenhouse. And I got all my parsley in the greenhouse. I checked that out the other day, and it's doing fabulous in there. In fact, I'm doing a video now on making and canning ham broth from the ham bone that we had, the ham stock. And I was going to run out there and cut some fresh parsley for it, but I just used dried parsley instead. But it really is doing good. So I'm hoping that it'll stay going real good. I got that parsley in a great big pot, so great big container, big old round container. So I'm hoping that does good. Anyway, we've been having fun this week. My husband's been home quite a bit. They got him working a little bit more. We were supposed to go last week up north. I was going to do a video on that. I couldn't wind up going with them because my daughter called me. You can't plan anything. You just can't plan anything because it just doesn't work. The morning that we were supposed to leave and I was going to ride with him, I think it was just up to Escanaba. It's about 3 hours north of us. Harbor Springs, which is about 3 hours north of us. My daughter called and needed me to watch the two little ones, so I couldn't ride along. But Tuesday, he's going, I think, to Escanaba up north. And I am going to go along with him on that. So we'll do a video on that. It'll be kind of like a chit-chat ride-along, you know. We'll have fun. Give us a break from the kitchen. Not too much of a break because there's lots to do. The cookies, I make all kinds of cookies because my family really loves those cookie baskets. Now I know my husband is going to be gone quite a bit next week. I think she's got him working pretty much every day next week. So we'll be able to do a lot of videos except for the one day I'm riding with him. And you'll see that video too. That'll be kind of fun. I'm not going to drive. I'm just going to ride. And speaking of that, I'm due to have my medical card expires in December. I think it expires the 1st of December, which means I couldn't drive anyway until I have that renewed. And that's not cheap, friends. Those medical cards, you know, unless you're working for a company, you have to have a medical clearance to drive. And it usually gives you one for every 2 years. You can only get them for every 2 years. And if you got any sort of health ailments whatsoever, they only give you for 1 year. So I always get mine for 2 years. And unless you're driving for a company, you have to pay for that out of your pocket. And it's well over $100. So that's going to hurt. And then I pondered whether I should just give up my CDL. And, you know, because I haven't driven since my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and that was 5 years ago. I came in off the road, and I haven't driven since. And I thought, well, you know, I could just give it up because it is expensive. A CDL is $60-70 every 4 years to have it renewed. Plus, every 2 years, you got to have your medical card. And I thought, well, you know, that cost me about, back in 2004 or 2005, I went through to learn how to drive semi. And I paid about $4,000, $3,000, $3,500, somewhere. I don't remember the exact amount. It was between $3,000 and $4,000. It's all different now because they make you go through a college course now. Back then it was a 1 month crash course in driving, and then you really learned when you were out on the road. But it was expensive back then, and I just don't know if I want to really give it up. I'm still pondering it. I've been pondering that the last 2 years. Should I or shouldn't I? But by about the time I do, you just never know if you're going to need it. Because I'll tell you, it's something under my belt. Yes, I am an accountant. I can go get an accounting job pretty much anywhere. I hate it though. I hate accounting. I absolutely hate it. And, but I could. I mean, that's what my college degree is in accounting. But if you have that CDL and something happens, it'll keep the wolves away from the door. I could jump in a truck and start driving. Without a CDL, I'd have to go all the way through that course and pay all that more money. And right now, I'm grandfathered in. I don't have to go through that. So that's what I'm pondering. Am I really going to use it or not? Or should I or shouldn't I? But so far, I've kept it. I don't know. It's something I'm thinking about. My husband doesn't help. He says, whatever you want to do. Well, it's not helping me. So, anyway, that's another day. That's another thing to worry about later on. But I probably will wind up just going and getting my medical card done again. You know, it'll be fine. And, oh yes, the root cellar. No more mice. I got rid of all the mice. But we have to put together shelves down there so that I can show you exactly what I got. I don't want to go do a video on the root cellar right now because, I mean, it's cram-packed. Everything I got is in totes, and the totes are all stacked up. And I certainly don't want to be pulling those totes out to show you what's in there. They're heavy. So once we can get, and I might have Tracy help me build shelves, because Tracy was the one that helped me build all the shelves in here, with the exception of this one over here. She helped me build all these shelves. She did beautiful, because I can't build anything. But she might help me do the ones downstairs. And if she does, we'll get that all set up, and then I can take in a nice tour in my root cellar. So that will be nice. But yes, my root cellar and my pantry and my refrigerators and my freezers are bulging at the seams. My husband and I were laughing the other day. I said, you know what? I can't go shopping anymore. This was before the last 2 shopping hauls I did. I said, listen, I can't go shopping anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to cross the line from prepping to hoarding. And my husband just busted out laughing, and he says, did you just hear yourself? You're not going grocery shopping? I said, right. And he said, yeah, right. That's not going to happen. That's not who you are. He said, what do you do, Renee? Well, actually, he calls me Marfa. What do you do, Marfa? I said, well, nobody goes hungry around me, and I feed a lot of family, you know, and friends and extended family. I do a lot for people. That's just who I am. That's what's in my heart, and that's what I do. He said, you're never going to stop shopping because you're never going to stop helping people. He said, and you can help, you know, you can help people. So I guess I'll just keep shopping when I find sales. It's kind of fun. Anyway, I had a friend of mine that showed up not too long ago, and she said, oh my goodness, look at your pantry. She says, well, I know where I'm coming if a catastrophe hits. I said, yeah, come on. The more the merrier. I'll make room for you. You'll eat good, that's for sure. Might not have much of anything else, but you'll definitely eat good. So I haven't been freeze drying too much because I was so busy with Thanksgiving. But I do want to get back into freeze drying some stuff because I got all kinds of stuff up on my shelf. You can see it out of the corner here. Most of it all is freeze dried, and I've been using a lot of it in my soups, and you got to forgive me. I think I was at my daughter's yesterday for Thanksgiving, and I was sitting out in the garage because, you know, I'm a smoker, and she don't smoke in her house. And I was sitting out in the garage, and I was smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden the wind come up from the garage door being open, and there was this old desk thing that it was just that much dust, an inch of dust on it, and when that wind blew up, it blew it right up my nose, and my nose is all plugged up since then, my eyes watering, itching. It's allergies. Oh, that like to about kill me. And I've been sneezing my full head off from it. No, I'm not sick. I think it was that dust that got up in my nose. My whole face itches. I have to cut because I got to sneeze, and I'm going to have a sneezing fit. I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Whew. I'm telling you, that was bad. Felt like to sneeze my full head off. We had turkey and ham for Thanksgiving, and my husband, the gentleman he was working for, gave them all a beautiful ham. So that's where the stock come from. My daughter took all the meat off the bone, and there was quite a bit of meat left because everybody devoured her turkey. So I'm going to take, she sliced it because it was a spiral ham. So she sliced the rest of it up, and I'm going to just package it up in smaller packs for like ham sandwiches and that, and freeze it and send. I'm going to keep a couple packages and send the rest home with her because she's got 6 in her family. And I took the bone, and I told you I was making another video on the ham stock. That's going to be fantastic. She wants some of that so that she can make her pea soup. And I'm telling you, she makes the best pea soup I've ever had. And she won't give me the recipe because she knows I'll share it. I said, that's all right. Recipes are supposed to be shared. She says, I'm not ready to do that yet. So that's all right. Let her have that. This season's going to be fun because not only do I do Christmas baskets, I want to do some, homemade gifts and that, and do a video on some homemade gifts and gift ideas and, budget-friendly ones and ones that people will use. You don't want to spend time on a gift that somebody's going to save for next year because they hate it and re-gift it, I don't want to give somebody a gift that they're not going to use. So I have a lot of ideas for Christmas gifts, and we're going to share them. And I also want to tell you, I was telling you about the Christmas tree that I was going to review. Oh, I'm just dying here. And it came, but it was not what I expected, friends. It's a good quality tree. I have to give them that because Costway has good quality products, but the tree has this white stuff sprayed all over it, and I hate that stuff. It's like styrofoam that gets all over your house, sticks to everything. So I don't want that tree, and I emailed her back and I told her that it's just not something I'm not interested in that kind of tree. I thought she was going to send me a plain, green tree. So I'm not going to review that one. I am actually going to mail it back to them. And if they want to give me a regular green tree, then yes, I'll review it. Otherwise, I'm putting up my old, Charlie Brown tree. That's all there is to it. I think if I have to do that, I'm going to get garland and wrap around, kind of lay it around inside because it really is a pretty sparse tree that I got. It's just the way it is. I think it was a Dollar General special. And I'm just going to wrap garland around and it'll make it look fuller. And then it's beautiful. But I do got a lot of ornaments, so I can cover a lot. Oh, I can cover a lot of that up. Hope y'all got your coffee. This time I'm drinking cocoa. I got some no sugar added cocoa. And I don't need all that sugar. Especially with cookies coming up. Oh my goodness. We got 2 weeks to lose 10 pounds and get ready for Christmas? Oh no. I didn't eat a whole lot during Thanksgiving. I think, but you know what? Nibbling when you're cooking is the worst thing ever. And then you sit down and you're not even hungry when you sit down for Thanksgiving because you've nibbled the whole time you've been cooking. I did make my 30-minute rolls, but I didn't do that in the video. So, you know what? We're going to do that for a video as well because those rolls are nice. I don't know why they call them 30-minute rolls because they do take a little bit longer than that because they're yeast rolls and they got to rise. You can have them all ready to bake in about an hour. But they call them 30-minute rolls. I'm really having a heck of a time over here with my nose and my eye. And it's plugged, I'm all plugged up. Anyway, so I am going to do that. We're going to do some more quick breads. We're going to do cookies. We're going to do DIY crafts. Or not crafts, but DIY baskets for Christmas. We're going to do some healthy foods, some make-ahead meals. We're just going to have an absolute ball. We're going to go hit the... I might do that tomorrow because it is Sunday today. And I might take you along with me tomorrow because down at our little local thrift shop, they've got all kinds of baskets in there. And I want to see what they got in there, because sometimes you can find some neat things to put in baskets. You know, like if you make a basket that has stuff for making cookies, you might find a really nice looking tray, ice cream scoop for the cookies themselves, and then put a, homemade cookie recipe in your jar. The sky's the limit, but they got beautiful baskets down there, and I want to hit them up. And I like doing beauty baskets too. I love the and not the body butters. I mean, that's all over. That's almost saturated, boring. But I love the Epsom salts. I make a lot of Epsom salts, bath salts, because those are nice to soak in. And they just make old bones feel good, or young sore muscles feel nice. And people like Epsom salts. I like to do air fresheners, Epsom salts, bath salts, body scrub, 1-minute manicures, stuff like that people are going to use, and that they're going to enjoy. So we're going to do a lot of stuff like that. We're going to have a ball with it. Tracy, now I can crochet like crazy, but Tracy really does, she crochets really well. So we might do some of the little towels, and we've got a whole bunch of them between her and I, Christmas towels and stuff that we've picked up at sales and whatnot, and thrift stores, and we crochet them so that, and then you put the button on them and you can hang them over your from your cabinets or your stove or your refrigerator. And I might include a couple of those in each of my baskets that I put together, because it is fun. And I can make those like crazy. The one hanging on my stove I made. And I don't like the thin, I like them nice and thick and beefy. So I know my mother years ago, when she did a lot of homemade Christmas too. And she was quite a seamstress. She could sew a lot. And she would take and buy this real heavy-duty lace. Not the Battenberg, but heavy-duty lace. And she would sew it on new towels. She would buy new towels, or sometimes she would even make her towels out of beautiful terry cloth. And she would sew a strip of lace on there and then fold it up. And she might make 2 or 3 of them and put washcloths with them if she made them, and make a gift out of that. Oh my gosh, my face is itching. And they would be absolutely beautiful. My mother was quite crafty with sewing. She's made a lot of quilts. She made all her great-grandkids quilts when they were babies. And my daughter has got her little girls that she made quilts for. And I've got Sadie's that's up in my cabinet that I'm saving for her when she's older. And then my friend Deborah made Gussie Boy a quilt. And it was just beautiful. She's the same friend that made me my quilt that sits on my ottoman in my living room. I just love them. I absolutely love them. Now, I've done stuff like that moons ago, when my kids were little. I would sew their blankets, and I would take old blankets for fillers, and then a sheet for the inside, and then, get some nice material. But I did all of that on a treadle machine. I never had an electric sewing machine when I was young. Everything was like the Amish. I had a treadle machine, and I could sew. I sewed all their nighties, their jammies, their cloth diapers on that thing. I did all kinds of stuff. My curtains. My mother made these curtains here. They're all you can't see it too well because they faded over the years, but they're garlic bulbs. And they're cute as can be. And oh my gosh, my face, friends, is itching terrible. Oh. So, we're going to have fun with that. I am not going shopping anymore. No more grocery shopping. That was fun, though, on Thanksgiving. My husband and I walked into Myers, and it was like we had the whole store to ourselves. There wasn't even a handful of people in there. And all the sales, they were getting ready for the Black Friday, but everything that they put out that was sale, they'd give it to you for that price. So, it was good. I didn't buy anything except groceries there. And we had fun. Well, of course, he didn't stay in there the whole time because I make him nuts when I go grocery shopping because I got to read everything. And I read everything. I can't go into like a department store with clothes, and I hate even going to the hardware store. But a grocery store, I could stay in a grocery store for hours just looking at everything and shopping. And I know some of my friends, you guys, that live down south in North Carolina. Actually, if anybody lives in, I used to spend a lot of time in the Outer Banks in North Carolina, Kitty Hawk, the Outer Banks, all that area. That's where we would do a lot of working. In fact, we were there when Hurricane Matthew hit. We were in a hotel right on the beach, right in the Outer Banks. But we would clean out, oh my gosh, we would clean out propane yards. Well, I said to my husband that one day, I said, we got to stop at a grocery store because I'm so sick of eating out. I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to cook something. So I had a little not a hot plate. I had a electric skillet. And wherever we stayed in hotels, we did our best to get the ones with the little kitchenettes in them, the sink and that. And I would cook. I would cook in the hotel because I was just so sick and tired of eating out. I couldn't take it anymore. I was so homesick for a good meal. Well, anyway, the first grocery store we came to was called Harris Teeter's. And I tell you what, friends, I would give my eye tooth for them to have a store like that up here. We don't have stores like that up here. I think the closest Kroger's in Grand Rapids from us. We get stuck with, and I'm not complaining, but those of you who know about Harris Teeter's, you know what I'm gonna mean when I say they have the most beautiful stores I have ever seen in my life. Those stores, Harris Teeter's, yes, they're a little pricier, but oh my goodness, that store is just phenomenal. I love that store. And after we discovered that, I was there all the time. But we get like Family Fare and Olsen's and no, we got Aldi's. Save-A-Lot's gone. We got Meijer. We don't have a Walmart. Aldi's is in Ludington with Walmart, which is about, a good hour south of us. And then a good hour north of us, you got Traverse City, and, they have Aldi's and all that. But in this area, we're like right in between Traverse to the north of us, Ludington to the south of us, and Cadillac to the east of us. And we don't have very much choice. Meijer or Save-A-Lot. And Save-A-Lot closed up shop when Meijer moved in, shortly after Meijer moved in. So we'd have to go, if we want Save-A-Lot, we'd have to either go to Cadillac or Benzonia or Traverse. But Harris Teeter, oh my goodness, how I wish we had a Harris Teeter up here. I would love that store. I think I spent 4 hours in that store the first time I walked in there. I was just overwhelmed with what all they had in there. Never have I seen a grocery store like that, ever. I live up here in the Pickers. We don't have that. And then when we were working down in the southern states, I love chicken. And I'm telling you, nothing beats Southern fried chicken. Nothing even comes close to it. And when we were down there, I discovered Bojangles. Oh my goodness. Was that their biscuits and their chicken? Oh my gosh. Now we've got here in Michigan, and it's not up here. The only thing we have up here for hundreds of miles is KFC, and it's just no good anymore. You know, we don't have Church's Chicken or Bojangles or what is the other one? There's a couple of them. Um, there's another prominent one, Popeyes. Oh, I almost have to call this done because I can't. I'm gonna sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. But anyway, we had fun when we went down south. And all the different places I discovered. Yes, we were in Hurricane Matthew when we went down there, and that's when I discovered Harris Teeter's. We were cleaning out a yard. Oh my God, that was horrific. We were there for probably 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and we were cleaning out this huge propane yard right on the outside of the Outer Banks, right outside of town. And Hurricane Matthew hit. And we were supposed to be heading to Florida the day that Hurricane Matthew hit because we finally was all done with that yard. And, you know, we just had to load up the semis. So we had all the tanks lined up and ready to be loaded. They were all emptied out, pumped back into the bulk tank, and waiting to be loaded on other semis and sent up north. That's what we did. We'd load other trucks, and I would load the trucks and send them up north. So when Hurricane Matthew hit, you know, that's when they said, oh, no, there's no, all roads to Florida are leading out. You can't get into Florida. So we were stuck in the Outer Banks, and I'll never forget it. The first time I've ever been in a hurricane. We don't have that up here. We don't have tornadoes. We don't have hurricanes. We don't have earthquakes. We'll get a snownado, a blizzard, you know. But at least up here, you know, we get up in the morning and our car's still going to be in our driveway. It's not going to be in the next county over, you know. So that was just mind blowing to be in that hurricane down south in the Outer Banks. I woke up. You know, you wake up in the morning, you sit on the edge of the bed, you put your feet down, right? I woke up, I sat on the edge of that bed, I put my feet down, and I had water to my shins. And I lifted my feet back up, and I thought, what the hell? You know, and the curtain was, the inside, it's beyond me. The curtain was blown off the window, but the window was still there. But all the water come through the cracks around the window. And it literally flooded half of that hotel. And we were on the bottom level. I mean, we were right there on the beach. Or, I don't remember the name of the road, but we were here. Then there was a street, and then there was the beach. And my husband and I thought, my God, we're never going to get out of here. This is scary. And the wind was just screaming and howling and raining sideways. And I said, we got to go out to the truck because we got to, you know, call our boss, let him know what's going on and let him know we're okay, you know. So we went out the back side of the hotel and opened that door, and the door was gone. We opened the door, and it just kept right on going. It just, like, blew right off. And I'm telling you, we could almost lay down forward with our nose pointed to the ground, and that wind will hold you up. But we were hanging on to each other, inching our way across that. It was I think they said 150 mile an hour winds coming off that ocean. So, but we made it to the truck. And just as I got in the truck, because I got in on the driver's side with my husband, we shut the door. We got into the truck. We shut the door. I sat in the passenger seat. Just as I sat down, there was this big streak of white that went right by my window. And it was the fence. And I'm like, oh my God, it scared the hell out of me. I was just crying. I was a wreck. I couldn't believe it. It's like, we got to get out of here. Well, you can't go nowhere. Everything's shut down. Well, we're sitting out there in the truck. And yes, we we did not have our flatbed with us. That was over still at the uh, gas yard, the propane yard. So we just had the tractor, the trailer, or the tractor. That wind was so strong, and our tractor's like, 29,000 pounds. It's not little by any means, and it's not lightweight, but that wind, it was inching us across the parking lot, and you could just feel it. You could just feel yourself inching, moving inches at a time across that parking lot. And I just thought to myself, we're just going to die. This is going to kill us. We're not. We live in the pickers where we don't have none of this. And I thought, my God, honey, if we get home, we're staying home. Because all I wanted to do was get out of there. But we couldn't. We had to ride it out. And the people in the hotel, they're like, well, this happens, and just like it's just some strong wind. No, that was a hurricane. Then there was tornadoes in Kitty Hawk, which I think was about 10 miles away from us. And what a scary thing. What a scary thing. But anyway, they moved us up to the second level in the hotel. And they closed down the rooms on the first floor. So after that, you couldn't go nowhere. There was nothing you could eat. So there was only, I don't think they had very many rooms that they were renting out in that hotel. So they just, kept stuff out so that we could have something to eat because you couldn't go nowhere to eat. Yes, we had some food in our truck, but they were gracious enough to keep the coffee going, and they'd put out biscuits, and, they'd leave the toast out for people, and, whatever they could. So it was nice for that, but man, we were stuck there for a couple days. And it was amazing. I never ever want to go through that again. My heart goes out to anybody who has to go through that. I'm a sheltered woman. I live in the pickers. And I could drive in a blizzard. I could drive in a blizzard that you can't hardly see past the hood of the car. But I can't do a tornado. And I can't do a hurricane. And I've driven out on the road for, 15 plus years. And never have I ever been in a tornado. Now they've been around, 5 miles away from you or whatever. But, and in Wyoming, when I was driving through Wyoming, you could see a tornado forming, coming. You just could see it, but you just kept going. And by the time that tornado touched down, if it ever did, we were out of there. But we've never been in it. We've been in some wicked rain and, hail and all that, but that was the first time for a hurricane for me, and that was enough. I couldn't do it. And I love Florida. I could live in Florida. I could live in North Carolina too. It's beautiful. My daughter just moved to Savannah, Georgia, and she's loving it. She called me the other day and said, "Oh, give me a picture of the snow. I miss the snow at home." Mind you, she's 20, or not 20, she's 30, 35. I think she's 35. And she's never lived out of Michigan. So this is the first time she's gone down there. She wanted me to send her a picture of snow. I said, how about I send it all to you? She says, I'll give it back to you after Christmas. No, keep it. I got plenty of it. But anyway, that's enough stories of down south and the hurricane. That thing scared me. I was about kissing the ground when I got home. We just never have that. We never. The worst we get is you get a blizzard and you're stuck in the house, and you're really not completely stuck in the house because you got a snowmobile. You can still get around in the snow. So a blizzard is just like you just hunker down for a day and you enjoy life. You don't got to go to work. You don't got to go out to the store. You don't got to do nothing. Just stay home. But at least your home's going to be standing when the blizzard's over. Might be covered in snow, but it's still going to be there. I've had where we've had to open up your door and shovel your way out. I've seen that before. That's just normal up here. Especially here, we're in a snow belt. So, anyway, friends, as you can see, I'm just about dying here with my nose and my eye. My nose is so plugged up, I'm talking funny. And I'm just going to go and take some Motrin and put some, I got to rub my eye down with some water or something. It feels like all my eyelashes are jammed up under my eye from rubbing it. But anyway, thanks for chatting with me. I'm sorry I went off on a tangent here, there, and everywhere. But anyway, next week we're going to do some traveling up north. We're going to do some healthy meals. We're going to do some healthy make-ahead meals. We're going to start Christmas cookies. And we're just going to have a ball. So thanks for hanging out with me. And thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. And I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next video. And thanks for watching.